Hey guys, welcome to this YouTube channel. We're head ayon sa batas. And we are in this segment kung saan kaso mo, ikwento ko. And for today's case, we'll be discussing the case of Arbolario vs. Court of Appeals. Now, punta muna tayo dun sa facts. I usually don't lay in the facts in this video, pero because the facts of this case is a bit complicated, so I came up with this diagram. So as you can see in the diagram, si Anselmo Baloyo and Macaria Lirazan, sila po mag-asawa. So nagkaroon sila ng 5 anak, which is Aguada Colinco, Catalina, Eduardo Gadencia, and Julian Baloyo. Now, etong si Aguada, he was survived by her 2 children, si Antonio at si Irene. Now, na-predecease naman ni Antonio itong kanyang tatlong dalaga na si Ruth, Orfa at si Galdalina. Now, sila yung respondents dito as naka-indicate dito sa ating diagram. Now, si Catalina Baloyo on the other hand, nagpakasal kay Juan Arbolario. So, nagkaroon sila ng anak, si Purificacion Arbolario. Pero hindi alam ng lahat nito, ng pamilyang ito, na si Juan Arbolario nagkaroon ng affair dito kay Francisca Malvas. At nagbunga yung kanilang affair na sina Voltaire, Lucera, Fe, Exaltacion at Carlos. Sila yung mga petitioners in this case. Alright? So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon po ng before that, etong si Gaudencio Baloyo, kinonvey niya yung interest niya dun sa property, yung interest niya sa kanya mga pamangkin na si Irene and Purificacion Arbolario. So, tig 1/2 po sila. Now, ang nangyari na nga ngayon dito, nagkaroon po ng notarized declaration of heirship na in-execute nitong 5 magkakapatid. Alright? So, nag-execute po sila extrajudicially that they declare themselves to be the only heirs of the spouses Anselmo Baloyo and Macaria Lirazan. So, ito naman, nasabi ko na nga kanina, itong pang-apat na child, kinonvey niya interest niya. Now, it was under the foregoing facts, Irene Colinco, Ruth Colinco, and Orfa Colinco, as well as Goldalina Colinco, believing themselves to be the only heirs of Anselmo Baloyo and Macaria Lirazan. So, nag-execute sila ng Declaration of Heirship and Partition Agreement. So, nandun sa Declaration of Heirship and Partition Agreement, where they adjudicated themselves their proportionate and ideal shares. So, nagkaroon na po sila ng hatian. So, syempre, na-issue na yung panibagong title. Now, alright, so, kay Irene Colinco, 1/2, while the surviving daughters of Irene's late brother Antonio, si Ruth, si Orfa, Goldalina, meron silang equal share in proportion dun sa remaining 1/2. So, yun. Nagkaroon po ng, syempre sabi ko nga, nagkaroon ng cancellation ng original title hanggang sa na-issue yung panibago. Ngayon naman, after this, yung Colincos, eto, sila yun. Right? Sila po yung mga respondent, yung mga Colincos. Now, nag-file sila ng civil case laban sa spouse na si Rosalita Rodriguez Salhay and Carlito Salhay. Ito. Ang gusto nila mangyari, they're seeking to recover the possession of a portion of the said lot na ino-occupy nitong mga Salhay. Alright? Now, sabi nitong mga Salhay, they have been the lawful lessees of the late Purificacion Arbolario, and that the said spouses allegedly purchased the disputed portion of lot from the deceased. So, nangyari, syempre, the civil case has been heard and tried on the merits. Ito naman si Voltaire, si Fe, si Lucena, si Exaltacion, si Carlos, tas ito sinasalahay, nag-file din sila ng civil case. Alright, so ang civil case na final nila against dun sa ano siya, cancellation of title, kasama na yung damages against dun sa mga plaintiffs dito sa scenario na to, which is sina Irene and Ruth Orfa tsaka si Goldalina. Now, ang claim ng Arbolarios, nagsucceed sila sa intestate inheritance ng kanilang alleged half-sister na si Purificacion Arbolario, and sila yung forced heirs and they should be included in the distribution of the aforesaid lot. Now, nakarating po ito hanggang sa Court of Appeals. Dun sa Court of Appeals, nag-rule ang Court of Appeals na the legitimate children are barred by Article 922 of the Civil Code from here it is. Alright, the illegitimate children are barred by Article 922 of the Civil Code from inheriting intestate from the legitimate children and relatives of the father or mother as the legitimate siblings of the late Purificacion Arbolario. Petitioners cannot conveniently undermine the legal limitations by insisting that they were treated as half-brothers and sisters by the deceased. So, syempre, kasama na rin dito yung partition kasi nga, yun din yung issue dito. Now, nakarating po ito sa Supreme Court. Ang ruling ng Supreme Court on this first issue is the Court of Appeals factual findings cannot be set aside. Bakit daw hindi pwedeng i-set aside? Kasi sabi ng Supreme Court, paternity and filiation or the lack of it is a relationship that must be judicially established. So, dapat ma-establish natin na may connection sila. So, it stands to reason that children born within the wedlock are legitimate. So, however, the petitioners, ang petitioners dito, yung mga Arbolarios. So, the petitioners, however, failed to prove the fact or even the presumption of the marriage between their parents Juan Arbolario and Francisca Malvas. Hence, they cannot invoke the presumption of legitimacy in their favor. So, yun nga, sabi natin, hindi natin, yung factual findings na nakita ng Court of Appeals cannot be set aside. Now, with respect dun sa partition, sabi ng Supreme Court, sabi ng Supreme Court dito, with respect dun sa partition, ano bang purpose na itong partition? So, the purpose of the partition is to put an end to co-ownership. It seeks a severance of the individual interest of co-owners vesting in each of them. Alright, in each of them, sorry, I misspelled that. Oh, wait for a while. Alright, yeah, there you go. Each of them, the sole estate in a specific property, right? The sole estate in a specific property and a right to enjoy the allotted estate without supervision or interference. So, in the case at bar, the petitioners were unable to establish any right to partition. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman nila na-establish na they are legitimate half-brothers and sisters of the deceased. Tapos, further, sinabi din ng Supreme Court that in the determination of the heirs of the decedent, pagka may mga ganito, no? Heirs of decedent, proof of affiliation, tapos determination of the estate of the decedent, it should be brought up before the proper probate court or in a special proceedings. Kasi anong nangyari dito, final siya sa regular courts. So sabi nga ng Supreme Court, such cannot be adjudicated in ordinary civil action for the recovery of ownership and possession. So, basically, ito po ang ating quiz, basically, this is everything about our case kwento of Arbolario vs. Court of Appeals, and sana nakatulong po. Maraming salamat. Thank you.